Welcome to the State of Views with Bashanyana Shego.
Sanbonani Machegoni, Bashanyana Shego here, Kimukubu Matata, one Amaha, Motokato, Timothy, Ruki Hape, one scoop online, Alebo Azuino, the credentials that you have given that are due to you. Thank you for the studio that you are giving us. Keduti Lemo Ati.
Kena Makatsi Mutsiki, the living legend, Demona Takwangwana, Blomfontein 051, Fatin Lamase. And so today, Renale, another channel of State of View presented by Bashanyana Shego. On this specific channel, mostly the politics and everything in general, and any trending topic that he has an insight on. So, how do you feel about this?
Yeah, man. This is episode 2 from the one that we had. Yeah. Just a follow up. Yeah. What I want us to discuss today is the GNU. There's this past week we started to work at GNU, and then everything it was all about topic here GNU. Government of National Unity. And what does Government of National Unity mean to us as South Africans? And what would Government of National Unity do to the South Africans or for the South Africans, especially what we want in South Africa. So that is and then maybe we can touch on politics while we are there, because this is the second episode. We're not gonna have much time. Yeah. Ngana belongs. We are the chair for this. Government of National Unity, from my point of view, guys, was about in this politics from the previous episode. I've had a different view with the 2024 elections and with the current state of governing, especially governing, with the fact that currently we have 7 political parties, right? Because I've heard yesterday that they also included invited Freedom Fund Plus. Okay. So we have 7 political parties
in parliament.
Yeah.
And which are ANC?
We have ANC,
DA.
we have DA,
EFF.
No, EFF is not noted. It's Patriotic Alliance, Gaten Mackenzie. You have IFP. Yeah, IFP. There's a party called Good. I don't know who runs Good. And then I forgot the 7th one.
Is it Freedom Front Plus?
Freedom Front Plus is number 7. They invited Freedom Front Plus during the course of this week. Okay. So we have let's stick to 6. We have 6 political parties in this. The question that I ask myself, in all this, why is it that the most important political parties, especially the most important for Batubawatu, why are they not included in this? I understand. Why is Malema not included in this? Obviously, Malema have said, now he's not going to be a puppet of the elites. I think that's the reason that he was not included, because he said he's not going to be part of this because ANC has sold the black people out. And I understand his point of view, and I'm not going to dwell too much on his point of view, but I have my point of view on this. To my understanding, the GNU itself, look, it's a waste of time for us, man. For black people per se, it's a policy document that would not take black people anywhere. It's an agreement that, to me, I don't even think that it's just an MOU, memorandum of understanding. That, look, Motlatsi, when are you going to talk about this? Now I'm going to talk about this. That's only understanding, and what makes it more difficult for now to understand into this, the first political parties that signed this GNU are 3.
And which are?
It's an ANC, DA, and IFP. Yeah. You get what I'm saying? And if you check on a political landscape, ANC and IFP is the same. Yeah. It's the same. I'm saying this because I'm heartbroken, Chief. Honestly, I'm heartbroken because I'm an ANC member and I love ANC, and ANC has done a lot for black people. You know, ANC has fought apartheid for black people. ANC has fought everything that we have for black people, you know, and we just took that. We only had that, Mutats. We had that opportunity of, we were holding our governance on a thread, with a thread, actually. It was and on that, right now with this GNU, we just lost the leverage we had as a black people. We just lost that. It's not power. It was not power per se, you understand, but it was governing, more of supervising the economy, because there was people that are running the country. They are still the people that are running the country. You get what I'm saying? Why I'm saying this, because why I'm saying South Africa we have lost in this, and it seems like in the last episode we got a transition, the breaker ANC from the within, right?
Yeah.
Where this was built from 1985. This is happening. Their strategic plan from 1985, it's happening as we speak.
So it's almost 40 years later. Next year will be 40 years.
Yes, it's happening right now. Who's the president?
All the countries,
Honorable
Mr. Cyril Ramaphosa.
Number 2, who's the deputy?
Johan Steenhuisen from Democratic Alliance.
Exactly. So now that transition is happening. I'm not sure why. You know why I'm saying this? So that the breaking of the African National Congress that was strategized in 1985 is happening. Are you aware right now what is happening with the ANC right now? Number 1, president of the country, first and foremost, before they become president of the country, are president of a political party.
Definitely.
That's why Zuma has said it. Mbeki has said it. Even Mbeki, when he resigned, he has said it. His first affiliation is with the African National Congress. Zuma, time and again, when media would scrutinize him and criticize him, he always referred that I am first the president of the African National Congress. You get what I'm saying? Now, with Ramaphosa, I'm saying this out of heartbreak, man. I'm heartbroken, you know, because when ANC was running majority, it means they chose their own ministers.
They didn't choose, or did they elect?
They elect.
Yeah.
They elect their own ministers.
Yeah.
You know, and that's when they invited they've been inviting people from different parties. You remember Martinus van Schalkwyk? Yeah, he was a former member of ETA.
Yeah.
And then was invited to be a minister in agriculture during, I think it was either Zuma or Mbeki's
late terms. Yeah.
And they invited who's this man? What Democratic Alliance? Not what DA, Patricia
Delili. ID from ID.
Also ID from ID.
Yeah,
they
ID.
also invited Patricia Delili. You get what I'm saying? So now, why I'm saying this, because what is happening right now is now they have 40%. DA has 60%.
So majority rules.
20%. DA has 20%.
So it's 60 combined.
They have 40%. It's 60 combined.
Okay.
So now, because of that, they have to talk about the seats. Who's getting what? You get what I'm saying? Here's the problem, people. Instead of Ramaphosa going and sit down with the National Executive Committee of the African National Congress, he sat down with Steenhuisen. Why?
Some might argue that he will be the deputy president and they need to be in coalition for a bigger building of the nation.
Exactly. The spokesperson of the ANC, who was, I forgot his name, who was interviewed during the week, when they asked him why was he doing that, he said the president has the power to choose the cabinet, the members of
the parliament,
the ministers. From my understanding, if president wants to choose from the African National Congress, they sit down with the executive committee of the African National Congress. It has done that. It has happened Mandela, it has happened, Mbeki, it happened Zuma. You understand? Why is it that now members of parliament are going to be chosen by president alone? And he's not even consulting his own people. You get what I'm saying?
For reference.
I'm always referring to the statement that I said earlier in the previous episode that 1985 strategic plan, it's happening. Because now what is happening right now, Kore, Ramaphosa is going to make a decision who become minister of what. You get what I'm saying? Under the supervision of the DA. I'm going to come to the supervision of the DA. And then that's number one. He's going to make that. Ramaphosa has dismantled African National Congress on his. You get what I'm saying? African National Congress is no longer what it used to be, my brother. How to be honest? Under the leadership of Ramaphosa, African National Congress has been dismantled. The decisions that are supposed to be done by the NEC are solely decided by Ramaphosa. So it means he's making decisions based on what the elites are telling him.
But who's this elite? Now, referring to the NEC, because now I have this thing, Isma Khashilo was the General Secretary, NAC on an NEC level. Now all loses Isma Khashilo.
Exactly.
So does this actually Mr. Ramaphosa actually doesn't really care about the political party that he's affiliated with? Because I recently saw an old interview or integration Mr. Teralo Kota I believe it was 1974 they were detained and Ramaphosa bamotsenya communist ideas in his head. They put communist ideas into his head. So that is why he was released and not So it clearly shows in terms of character, Mr. Cyril Ramaphosa, it has been questionable from a long time ago. And another incident that happened, I think, when Mr. Nelson Mandela became the president, Mr. Ramaphosa wanted to be the secretary of ANC, and he was not elected, and he withdrew from being the member of the same political party. Now, 20 years plus years later, Sansa Hutalamo political party. Now we have to ask that why has done so, because that time Anakla was and did business. Why couldn't he stick to businesses? Now and he just has started with the branching, build up, and the very same ANC members put it in the pedestal to be on conferencing in deputy president at that time under Zoom. So his character has been very questionable from the start.
Look, man, number one, number one. You remember, I'm not sure if you remember what happened at Kodesa negotiations.
Tell me.
The leading negotiators at Kodesa negotiations were two people. It was Zuma and Mbeki. You get what I'm saying? And they were backed by Mandela because Mandela has established the whole Kodesa negotiations, right? After Chris Hani walked out. So there were two people, actually there were three with Chris Hani. But after Chris Hani walked out because of the land issue, there were two people who were left to lead the Kodesa negotiations. Now, Zuma and Mbeki, because they were leaders, they were going around the world, ensuring the world that South Africa is not going to go to civil war. Because I don't know if you understand this. During 1993, South Africa should have had a very serious civil war. You get what I'm saying? And it comes to the statement I made on the previous episode that to curb that idea of a civil war, to stop black people from having that power, they told him to stop, to dismantle the inconsistencies. I'm not going to do too much on it. But what I'm going to is Mbeki and Zuma had to go around the world to ensure the investors that South Africa is not going to go to civil war. You get what I'm saying? By the time they go Europe, automatically Ramaphosa has removed them out of the negotiations, and he was the leading negotiator himself. You get what I'm saying? It has been questionable for a long time. This thing. The reason, from my point of view, the reason I think Ramaphosa went to business, because remember, it was not even his decision to go to business. It was Mandela's decision. to take Tokyo Squale and Ramaphosa, take them to business, especially the mines, so that they can learn and come back with this skill and uplift. The whole idea was to uplift the black people. You understand? And then unfortunately, out of greed, this thing happened. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So now I'm saying GNU itself, it is the strategic plan of the dismantling of ANC from 1985. It's happening because we just took the only governance that we have and gave it back to them. The very same people that have been oppressing us for a long time, we just take it and took it back to them. I had a lot of discussion with especially black ANC members, not ANC, DA members, thinking, no, you are backwards, this is not going to happen. I'm not saying apartheid is going to come back. We're not sure if apartheid will come back. You get what I'm saying? But I'm saying we had the power. It was not even a power. I'm not supposed to say power, actually. We had that opportunity to have a saying. You get what I'm saying? And at least get something out of this government for us, because people have been getting a lot of things except for black people. You get what I'm saying?
Especially in South Africa.
Especially in South Africa. We're talking about South Africa, especially in South Africa. So now, I earlier I said I'm gonna come back to the supervision of DA. Where I'm saying this, I'm saying we have given them the governance on the silver platter is because if you can check who has the more power right now, ANC has a 40%, but they don't have power because of the GNU they signed. I am not sure if you are aware.
Yeah,
ANC may say they have power, they don't have power. DA has power with their 20%.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? With their 20%, they have more power than ANC. Why? Because everything that ANC gonna do, they are going to report it to DA first. If DA okays it, then they can implement it. If DA doesn't okay it, then they're not gonna implement it.
Yeah, definitely.
So, okay, you wanna say something?
No, I just thought Miss Helen Zille has been doing a lot of press run, and most of her words, listen carefully, I'm not gonna say them verbatim. Even again, the National Party, is it National Party?
The previous ruling government.
Yeah. And I'd say, she said, banana over. Now we say even ANC themselves are. So I'm here to guide them on how to run the better South Africa. So she's actually calling the shots. This is me agreeing to the statement that you just made. You can continue.
Yeah. More. I'll check out what do I mean about supervision here. Not long ago, within weeks, GNU signed. You get what I'm saying? What did Fikile Mbalula do? No, listen. Fikile Mbalula invited a certain political party, and then Zille came and said he doesn't have the power to invite any political party under clause or section 18 and 19 of the GNU they've signed for. You know what I'm saying? And then he emphasized that Mbalula doesn't know the contents of the document that he has signed. And there's someone that I've read on X who said that actually the GNU document, it seems like it was written by DA. It was drafted by DA, written by DA, given to ANC to sign.
It clearly, because given the specific time for this coalition has been happening, ANC doesn't really care about black people, or the governance ANC doesn't really care about black people. So they just took it. They didn't go like Ubuwa for them. Gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen, there's a memorandum. This is the document GNU. Which clause, which section can we amend? And what's your point of view here? So that we already have a more common ground, because most of the policies that the A and ANC
that clash.
That clash.
Not most, all of them. Yeah. But first and foremost, ANC policy number 1, the Freedom Charter, the main biggest foundation document, the ANC. It talks about land. You get what I'm saying? And then DA is against that. You understand?
Yeah.
In all the policies of ANC, one of the affirmative action. And if you would follow the policy affirmative action, it was uplifting black people. One understand? Where at 94, Mandela said, go and learn so that we can take over the economy in the later future. These people, they didn't have that plan that Mandela had. They lied to Mandela. We need have said it, man, that Mandela has promised black people in South Africa something that he was promised to. And when white people failed to deliver on Mandela, he was left stranded alone. You get what I'm saying? This was what? To dismantle or to stop the civil war that was supposed to happen in 93. That was supposed to happen in 93. Now, having said that, you have the second policy that I just mentioned. It's affirmative action. Yeah. Right. And then you have black economic empowerment. Black is the main word.
And is the first word.
ANC fully support the BEE. They created it. And it was fully functional during the days of other presidents except for Ramaphosa. You get what I'm saying? It was actually fully functional during the days of Zuma.
Because they say Zuma is the only president that made more black
billionaires.
Yeah.
Zuma is the only black president who made more black billionaires. Or millionaires, not billionaires. Millionaires. You get what I'm saying? Majority of them is what? It's through BEE. It's through BEE. And some of the BEEs, some of these BEEs? They were tenders from the government. One understand? Let's be honest with one thing, my brother. The tender issue, it did not start with the ANC.
Yeah, it never did.
The tender corruption did not start with the African National Congress. Actually, African National Congress inherited it from the previous system. This was the system that they were using. But now, what was happening during the apartheid system? They were uplifting the suburbs and demoralizing the townships where black people were sitting. Yeah. You get what I'm saying? Now, here we have an advantage. I remember the roads they were bad. During those times, they started by building the better roads. Understand? That was an improvement on its own. You get what I'm saying? But now, that on its own, it has fallen out with Ramaphosa. Ramaphosa, the moment he became on his previous first term, the moment he became president, the first thing he did was to do what? To increase our VAT.
Yeah, renewable.
They even said it that it has been almost 40-50 years, even during apartheid system. The last time VAT was increased was like 50 years ago. You know what I'm saying? The first thing he did was, who is gaining from VAT? I don't get tax return from VAT.
Yeah.
Personally, normal people that buy bread that has extra 250 VAT, we don't get that VAT.
Yeah.
We don't get tax returns from VAT. Who's getting tax returns from VAT? Companies.
Yeah.
Who are the majority owners of the companies in South Africa? Honestly speaking, who are the majority owners of the companies in South Africa?
Foreigners. Because companies
they are not black people per se. They are born. When I say businesses, let's not take this spaza shop or some Matebo as a business. Because that is just to feed the family. That's why in the olden days, if you know sina trouble at home, when I shop anka which on its own with the coming foreigners on its own. I was making a shop on you Somali today. I was so heartbroken. The shoppers are not about to education. They are dying, if not dead, because Bangilo over. You get what I'm saying? And on top of that, they are selling us expired food. Because this video that I saw that the sachets, they selling sugars in sachets of plastics. Those expired, they take the expired container out, put those in there.
It's just a 2 teaspoons.
That's how we've been reduced to. That's how we've been reduced to as black people. You understand? So now the government of national unity on its own, we have taken this what we have and we have given it back to the people that is really are not there for us. That is really their policies are not going to develop us. And based on that, the supervision here, DA, ANC is not going to do anything. First and foremost, let me tell you something. We last episode I say load shedding. Because we have in coalition government, we're not going to have load shedding. Now because DA has a say more than ANC, I'm telling you, let's check the whole of this year, we are not going to have load shedding.
You know what? I acknowledge that point, and I want to add my view on this. 2 weeks or almost the whole month here may never experience the load shedding in South Africa. I don't know other parts, but where I've been, people have connected with around the South Africa. They never had load shedding till to this day. And with the supervision at DA, this is my point of view. This is what it's going to do. DA is going to take over the municipality for 2 reasons. They're going to employ people so that in the next 5 years
they can be voted.
They can voted in power. Secondly, they have to build their, because now remember, DA has a confidence of black people who are angry at ANC.
Yes.
So for you to we have to do the later level for next closer in all aspects. Because now everyone youth unemployment, we have got, it's a disaster in South Africa. Number 2, so nobody load shedding, all these other things, they deprive us. But when it gets a body grant, all these certain elements we need them to get by. They're gonna work on it. And once in the municipalities and mayor, the municipality, just to try to the service delivery, the potholes, all of those things. There's a strategy to get other black people ruling for they're still part of ANC, the governance of ANC, but they are in denial. So there's another way on it. Let's let them in to see, for we as the A, we are more powerful and gonna deliver better. And once that is done, I'm telling you, in the next 5 years, since when Johan Steenhuisen, representative via DA, is the deputy president of the country, it's easy to turn everything to their favor.
Already staying.
It's already staying.
You know what?
Yeah.
Sorry,
yeah.
You know I get it already staying. Look what Ramaphosa did. They need to sit down and determine the ministers or choose the ministers or elect the ministers. Instead of going back to the African National Congress National Executive Committee and say, who are we putting in as a Minister of Finance? Who are we putting in as a Minister of whichever department? He met with Steenhuisen. Why are they meeting with DA as an individual? You understand? Because this is what is covered in 94, that Mandela has made an individual decisions. Even if the NEC back there, have said in who's this Indian timer?
Ultimately, about few years, Ahmad, no?
Something Ahmad. Even though they set him down and said, look man, we need to go and have a negotiations with these people alone, as a collective, as a members of the NECs. And he told them like, no, I'll go alone. And you know what he did? Instead of bringing one person, they brought 5 people.
And he was
to
there
negotiate. He was there representing the ANC and all of the ANC people alone with 5 people. You get what I'm saying? Now, the same thing is happening. We have a history repeating itself, that we are taking this thing and we are giving the decisions, our decisions to the DA. I mean, it's really serious that they have given our and it's a betrayal on our votes. We voted ANC. We did not vote ANC to give power to the DA. How to be honest? If I wanted ANC to DA to be in power, could have voted for DA. You get what I'm saying? So now, why? My question is, why are they choosing to go? We can't say DA because they have 20%, they are second. No. That's not a reason for that. Because out of that, between DA and ANC, when are the 60%, we still have parties that made 40%. You get what I'm saying? You still have parties that made 40%. You get what I'm saying? So there's a strategic thing why they went there. And after that, what they did, who do you think invited Freedom Front Plus? It cannot be ANC. It's definitely not ANC. Zille is the one who invited Freedom Front Plus. I listened to the interview, spokesperson of Freedom Front Plus Mobile. They emphasizing the issue Orania again. You get what I'm saying?
Or they're gonna leave it alone.
Orania is gonna be left alone. It's gonna be left alone.
It's another country in a country.
I've watched this white guy, Robert Herzog.
Yeah.
Robert Herzog has said something that was disturbing to me, Mauban. I was watching a video of Robert Herzog, Mauban. He said, Zuma and MK are more dangerous than EFF. Why did he say that?
First thing, you need to understand the character that Zuma is, or the reputation that Zuma has. Because MK, I would argue for they are more black principled. Yeah.
And culturally based.
Culturally based, because it's more tribal thing. It's more like a Zulu, because that warrior on its own, it's a threat. Yeah.
Based on that, they want to establish what is Orania is being
their own kingdom of Zulu.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They want to establish, and that is it's a threat. But that is not the major threat. Here's the major threat. Zuma have shifted the pipeline. You know why Zuma was hated so much actually? Let me show you this.
Show me.
To talk about making black people rich, Zuma have shifted the pipeline from the England to the Guptas. You get what I'm saying? So now, based on the fact that Zuma have changed the so-called policy pipeline for money, because in terms of that, when you talk about the people that were contracted, for example, for coal mines, the
minerals,
major money, where money is, we're talking about billions, where money is. You get what I'm saying? Mostly were Europeans. Mostly are still Europeans. You get what I'm saying? Mostly were Afrikaners. You get what I'm saying? But now when Zuma came in, he changed it and he gave it to the Guptas. Guptas are
Indians.
The Indians. Now, based on that, that's when you will find out that the issue of the Guptas were raised and the media got to concentrate on the Guptas more than anything. And the Guptas were bet on this, the Guptas were bet on that, the Guptas did this, the Guptas did that. You get what I'm saying? Because now the pipeline, the pipe payment have changed. It have shifted. And then they were angry for that. You get what I'm saying? And on top of that, Zuma was making black people rich, which on its own is a problem. You get what I'm saying? That's why Diamond have said that MK is more dangerous than EFF. Because it seems like Malema is all talks but no action. But I can tell you, Malema is full of action.
A lot.
You know, full of action. You know, it's just that fella, his actions are strategical and he thinks before he does do what he's doing. So now, under government of national unity, and the economy, the biggest issue with government is the economy. How to be honest, the government cannot run without the economy. And the economy has been controlled by these people. And in South Africa, we have two economies, if you can check it. We have the private economy and we have the public economy, where everything in public is deteriorating and is getting up, and down, and everything is going down and down and down and down. Sorry. Whereas on the public sector, things are running smooth and 100%. You get what I'm saying? Why do we have that? When you go to a Rose Park private hospital, you get 100% top-notch
Service.
service. But when you go to Tembisa Hospital, you don't get any service, better service. You know what I'm saying? And now, Ramaphosa, before anything else, has signed an HIB, which DA has opposed. How are we going to do with this, man? With the DA opposed? If Ramaphosa wants to implement second phase of the NHI bill,
DA is going to decline
he
it.
needs to get a go-ahead from DA first.
They're going to decline it.
He needs to get, Zile have said it, that they don't know the contents of the contract they signed. They cannot do anything without consulting them. This is how South Africa is right now. That is how our, for a lack of a better word, power has been reduced to. You get what I'm saying? And if we think that DA is going to bring a better economical transformation, your employment, all those things, let's go check under the DA province where they're governing. Are the townships being developed?
Nothing.
I'm not concerning about the suburbs.
Yeah.
Because the suburbs and
for white people,
your malls and all those things, they are privatized. They are privatized. The same companies that are private companies, like the system that I'm talking about, the private system. They're the ones that are investing on these things. You get what I'm saying? And then in our townships, it is the same thing that we need to keep the black people oppressed, which is the strategic that has been happening. You know, I don't know what you take on it.
Yeah, I'm checking now, talking about majority where DA is leading, and mostly here Western Cape. Case in point, Cape Town. Cape Town is a city, it's beautiful, it's a tourist attraction, but Oya Kodika sits at your Google to your Langa, your all of those things. Even missions played more than the Makala thing. It's a horror. It's a horror. It's a black on black crime. On a lot of sewages. Like it's a very, very disgusting. So it clearly shows how the DA doesn't really care about black people, and at the same time, the president of the country doesn't really care about black people. So this thing is beneficial to him as an individual. Now thinking about I'm just thinking this is a strategic plan on how to remove the president. And he should be aware, and the entire black society and ANC in general, they're going to make the fault by to such an extent that we have a vote of no confidence in a president. And once that happens, who needs to step in? Obviously, the deputy president. He has to take in over the country while we still resettle all this mobility thing. And once that is done, sorry black people, sorry my Africans, now the governance is back to white people. I don't have a problem with white people. I've got few white people that I admire, but in terms of governance, I don't have confidence in white people. Although ANC has failed us repeatedly and continues to do so,
I would vote for them even if they failed us.
Again, the better devil you know.
The devil you know is better than you don't.
Yeah, so for me, that would be my closing. I see the disruption. I feel, there were prophecies about that Sanusi spoke about this for a year, man. The danger's coming. It's gonna be apocalyptic, and now we live in that age, in that era, in that time. We were here in 1985. Now it's actually happening. So we are doomed. We are doomed. I just pray and believe in due time, all this memorandum of GNU has to be revised so that the content that they want to change for the benefits of the society, eventually the economy, so that black people can be liberated. We're not gonna be we are not liberated, we are not emancipated at all with this current governance. But Mr. Ramaphosa, this is my letter to you. I hope you watch this. I hope you see the frustration that most of the black or African people have regarding the decision you took on our behalf. The reason why they voted for you, because we still have that little bit of hope that exactly there will be a better transformation, but it seems like it's decaying. So please get your senses back in order. Include, that's my.
The removal of President Ramaphosa is already on the way as we speak. There's a letter or a statement that Chivambu with EFF, Floyd, they've issued to Togo disease as a Speaker of Parliament, impeachment of the President based on the Palpara issue. So already right now, there's a motion of removing Ramaphosa as a President. Just wanted to add on there. And then in my closing, in his inauguration statement, he said, and one thing that caught my attention was, South Africans are tired of corruption. South Africans are tired of corruption. South Africans, we are not corrupt. You get what I'm saying? Why is it that right now corruption is the biggest issue when it's done by black people? This corruption has been done a long time ago.
Even before we got
during apartheid, there was corruption. There was a tender discrepancies. There was still corruption. You get what I'm saying? But now, because the corruption is benefiting the majority people, all of a sudden it's a bad thing, and we need to make sure that these people, they don't get corrupt. But as certain other people, it's okay for them to be corrupt. Certain other people, it's okay for them to benefit from corruption. You get what I'm saying? And here's another thing. In his opening statement, the first person, this is in my closing because I wanna say something on this. The first person he greeted was the General of the Army. In his opening statement, in his inauguration statement, speech. The first person that he greeted was the General of the Army. Why did he greet the General of the Army
before anyone else?
Why didn't he greet Zondo first? You are aware of the person that has more legal power in South Africa is Zondo.
Yeah.
As a judicial. Why didn't he greet Zondo first? I don't know the protocol of greeting this. I don't know the protocol, especially when you are president. But I know if the minister, the first person you greet is the president, right? But I don't know if when you are a person, who's the first person that you need to greet. But he greeted the General of the Army. Why I'm saying this is because of this. I want to say this in my closing, that for South Africa to be right, it needs a coup d'etat. This is a harsh word, but it is one of the true words. Burkina Faso, when Traore took it under coup, they thought that the Burkina Faso was going to fail. They thought that Burkina Faso is going to go down, it's going to be civil war, it's going to be in. What is he doing now?
There was great improvement, but at the same time, look at Zimbabwe. There was coup d'etat to remove Robert Mugabe. Was it coup d'etat?
No. Coup d'etat was with Smith.
Oh, yeah.
Ian Smith,
yeah, okay.
By Mugabe.
Yeah.
But then, at that time, economy, the history of Zimbabwe, it's one other history that you need to understand the background of it. When this person took Ian Smith out, and
it was Rhodesia.
It was Rhodesia then.
Yeah.
And he became the president. England was okay with it because he was not tampering with anything that the England has said in Zimbabwe. Now, how did Zimbabwe get what it is? Zimbabwe's they said their first independence day was what? 1979, I think. Around. 1979. When did the economy of Zimbabwe crumble? Towards the early 2000s. You can say after what, 20 years?
Let's say 18, 19, 2009, 20 years.
20 years.
20 years, yeah.
Why is it that the economy of Zimbabwe didn't crumble when Ian Smith was removed and Mugabe became the president? You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Why? Because now we're talking about the history of this thing. When Mugabe was tired that the black people in Zimbabwe were suffering, and the only thing that could take black people out of poverty was agriculture, of which the minority whites were owning 10% of the white population, were owning 90% of the land. And 90% of the black people were congested in the 10% of the land. So what Mugabe wanted to do was, I need to take back our land so that it can feed us.
Yeah.
Back then, tobacco was the biggest, number one, selling product in the world. You get what I'm saying? And then what did they do? They told him, don't worry, we'll give you money. What do you want? We'll give you money, don't worry.
They tried to
do not chase the white people out. We'll give you the money. You know why are they scared of chasing the white people out? Because once they chase them out, they need to go back to where they come from.
Yeah.
If you are in English, you need to go back to England. If you are a Dutch, you need to go to back to. And now, here's the problem. Europe is going to be congested and overpopulated. They are afraid of that. They said it. They said it. The spokesperson of Europe, English Emperor, I forgot his name. He said it, that they cannot allow these people to come back because they're going to be overpopulated in Europe, as minority as they are.
And even in Australia.
You get what I'm saying?
Because that's where they mostly go.
Exactly. And now, here's the thing. They said to Mugabe, don't worry, we'll give you the money. It was Lady, I think it was Margaret Thatcher back then, a prime minister in England. Margaret Thatcher, if I remember correctly. And then Margaret Thatcher made all these promises in the name of Queen. Alright, don't worry, I'm gonna give you this. And his term ended, and then Tony Blair took over.
Yeah.
That's where the disagreement came. Okay. When Mugabe went back to England, say, Margaret Thatcher has promised me this and this and this to build the economy in Zimbabwe. They said, we're not gonna give you money, chief. Just know we don't have money for you, we're not gonna give you money. And then they went back and they took the land. And Harvard Honest Country One, if you have watched that documentary, these people were not forcefully removed, these people were not killed, black people were begged and asked nicely. Some of them packed their bags in their cars and left. You get what I'm saying? And then after that, that's when they started putting sanctions on Zimbabwe. They did Zimbabwe what it is today. You get what I'm saying? Which is what is going to happen to South Africa if we don't do, And this is another problem. The apartheid government was sanctioned by IEC. Even today, right now, it's still under IEC that apartheid was a crime against humanity. That's why they're even using it at a war in Gaza. A war in Gaza, it's even worse than apartheid. Imagine. The war in Gaza, it's even worse than apartheid. You get what I'm saying? Now, why are they using this statement? Now, if this thing happened in South Africa, like it happened in apartheid, look, man, apartheid survived even if there were sanctions. They survived. Why did they survive? Because they built their own things in their own land. How is Zimbabwe suffering? Zimbabwe has depended on the foreign investors, which is what's going to destroy South Africa. We can't take the stand because the people that we are depending on are feeding us. And if you have the power over someone and someone is against you, what would you do?
Now they hold you by the thread.
You hold everyone by the thread.
Yeah.
So the so-called investors that I said last episode that I'm against, they are the ones that are holding us hostage. Because we can't do. If you do, there's a law. They push what do they call
when you do what?
When you do in a company.
No work, no papers.
Not that police. The police here, you can't get into the company premises when you are doing. Yeah. Strike and lockout. They call it strike and lockout. When you strike, the owner of the company closes his doors and you strike outside. Yeah. You get what I'm saying? And you strike outside. It's the exact same thing. Now I was saying in my closing that Traore has developed Burkina Faso. They are lying now. The media is lying that Burkina Faso economy is crumbling, Burkina Faso is doing. You know why they're saying this? It's because all the minerals that were taken outside the Burkina Faso, he no longer giving them to them.
It's now beneficial.
It's now beneficial to them. Yeah. And now they're coming with all these lies. You know how this media works. Yeah. You know, and you know who paid for the media. Yeah. Right? You know who paid for the media. And fortunately, we still have a freedom of speech. If it was during the other times, we couldn't even have this podcast talking like this.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? So now, I'm saying this, that South Africa need transformation in terms of coup d'etat, where someone would take over the economy and build it to be better for us.
Definitely.
You get what I'm saying? We should not be depending. I'm so heartbroken that I've learned that right now with Russia-Ukraine war, our seeds, the reason the food with Russia-Ukraine war became so, the food prices skyrocketed. Yeah. I learned this the hard way, that the reason that peak of food prices, or spike of food prices, was because we are getting our food from Ukraine. From Ukraine. Free State used to be the supplier of food in South Africa.
Yeah.
The supplier of food in South Africa. What happened to that? You get what I'm saying? And based on that, why are we getting food from the coldest country in the world?
Yeah, it's very cold.
Nothing is growing there in major seasons. Because it's cold. So the food that we are getting, is it organic?
It's never organic.
It's GMOs. So I am not there. But my point is, we need to take South Africa forward in terms of the developing big people. And it needs someone brave. It needs someone brave. Because it seems like our presidents, but they are scared.
They're not scared, they're just comfortable with what they have. Because now they are not themselves, they're sorted. So when you're comfortable, when you get everything in order for yourself, why should you care about others?
You don't care who
exactly.
And that's a very same policy. That here's the thing: when a white person gets something, he pull another white person in, and say, "Let's share this." But when a black person gets something, he pull another black person out. Now that's the mentality of slavery.
Yeah,
that's the mentality of slavery. And that slavery that was applied in the United States has been transferred to everyone in the world. You know, and we know that the reason we're having this, that, look, man, you cannot govern yourself. They are saying it, that black people can't govern themselves. Was it Verwoerd or P.W. Botha who said, if you give black people guns, they're gonna kill each other. They killed each other because they told them to kill each other.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? They told them to kill each other. So now the biggest thing is the slavery mentality that we have. We still have it. You know, because if something that was installed in us over 400 years, so it is not going to be easy to get out.
So we have to decolonize ourselves.
That's the first thing. You know, emancipate ourselves and decolonize ourselves.
Yeah.
Because right now we are colonized in the terms of democracy. Democracy. You get what I'm saying? We believe that the downgradations that these American private companies are downgrading our economy, like they are controlling it, or obviously they are controlling it. You know, they're downgrading it because of the fact that they have a say in everything that is happening. We know that the rand will never be strong against the dollar. Never. That's the system they created. And in order for it to keep it down, they increases their prices. You know, you get a pair of shoes that come from United States at 5,000 rand. 5,000 rand.
Of which is way cheaper than that.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
5,000 rand. So the transition of our government is not going to be depending on GNU. You get what I'm saying? Because GNU, as it is right now, there's already a fight between Balula and Zili. So there's not going to take black people forward. It's not going to take black people out of poverty. It's not going to create more black millionaires. It's not going to create more black economy, especially in our townships. You know, where those people that have minor markets in Kokasi are surviving out of that money, which is what I think is the problem.
And another threat is the support Makula, because these fathers are one they cannot grow. But hey, that's in a nutshell. There's a lot. So we'll keep on sharing as much as we can. Please drop us a comment, share your views, whether you agree or disagree. Let's engage in this conversation fruitfully. Let's not disrespect each other. Let's not call each other names and whatnot. Let's just engage so that we can build a better South Africa. But in that was his closing regarding the GNU, the Government of National Unity. Is it unity?
Yes.
Yeah. No, that unity word, it's very distinct.
It's not unity.
It's never united. So yeah, this was State of View, one of the fewest episodes. This is headlined or presented by Bashanyana Shego, whereby he'll be sharing this kind of views on his platform via platforms. I am the living legend, signing out, and I'm with
Bashanyana Shego. I'm available on our social media. Guys, thanks to Plug Souls giving this platform. I'm gonna be there are more coming out of this from me again. And thanks to Google Online, Zwino, great work, my brother. Thank you for giving us your studio again. Don't forget to watch Google Online every night at 7 p.m.
Yeah, Shigupu Online, TSIGUBUONLINERADIO. They are the most leading online podcast radio in South Africa. Shout out to Zwino HB, Zwino SA. Shout out to Venda Tonga. This is Plug Soul. Please like, subscribe, share, do everything in all our media, social media platforms. We appreciate you. This is where innate meet intangibles.
Thank you. Yo.